So, dear students, let's begin our chapter 1 of English. The fun they had. The fun they had. Who are they? Now, they are the brother and sister over here, Tommy and his sister, Margie. Look at this picture. You see that Tommy is having the class that is learning through computers, whereas his sister is having virtual classroom. You can see that there is a teacher, and that is a robotic teacher. You see the screen which has moving e-ticks. Now moving e-ticks, that is what? Online lessons. These are the schools of the future. Now, dear students, you must have already got the idea about what this chapter is. Here, the students, Tommy and Margie, have online classes with their robotic teacher. Do they enjoy the classes? I do not know. As these days you are having online classes, you will know it better. But these are also the schools we are talking about in future. So, here we begin. Just see that paragraph number 1. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary. On the page headed 17th May 2157, she wrote, "Today, Tommy found a real book. It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, you know. And then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it the first time. "Gee," said Tommy, "what a waste. When you are thorough with the book, you just throw it away, I guess. Our television screen must have had 1,000,000 books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away." "Same with mine," said Margie. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. She said, "Where did you find it?" "In my house." He pointed without looking because he was busy reading. "In the attic." "What's it about?" "School." Margie was scornful. "School? What's there to write about school? I hate school." Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. Students, come back now to first page. Here, I am going to read it once again and explain you the meaning of it. Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary. On the page headed 17 May 2157, she wrote, "Today, Tommy found a real book. Today, Tommy found a real book." Students, I want you to underline the date 17 May 2157 and today Tommy found a real book. Now, they are discussing something about the real book. It was a very old book. It was a very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. Students, now when you read your books, all the matter, all the story is written, printed on the page, on the book, and that is how we read them. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, you know. And then, when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it the first time. Students, now what are they talking about? The type of pages. When they turned the pages, they were yellow. How were the pages, students? They were yellow and crinkly. Please, students, now underline the word crinkly. And it was awfully. Underline the word awfully. And it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, you know. Now, when you are on the screen, you do scroll it. You go front and back. Whereas in the textbook, on the pages, you cannot make any changes because they are already printed. And how are the pages, students? Their pages were yellow and crinkly. Now what is the meaning of crinkly? You just see, you have got it over here. Crinkly meaning with many folds or lines, or in short, wrinkled. W-R-I-N-K-L-E-D, wrinkled. Wrinkle is that with many folds, and so the page was like that. Also, it was little yellowish. It was awfully funny to read words. I told you to underline the word awfully. What is the meaning of awfully, students? Very badly. They were badly funny to read words that stood still instead of moving on the way they were supposed to on a screen. On the screen, we do move. But in the textbook, as I told you earlier, you cannot move it. So the meaning of awfully is badly. Now, let's see, students, the second paragraph. "Gee," said Tommy, "what a waste. When you are thorough with the book, you just throw it away. I guess our television screen must have had 1,000,000 books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away." "Same with mine," said Margie. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. So, students, I told you before, when I was showing you, when we were talking about the picture that was given in the textbook. So the brother Tommy, what is he saying? Gee, what a waste. You see the expression. Okay? He is expressing, and what he feels that it is a waste, that when you are thorough with the book, you read the book and you throw away. You just see your last year's book, 8th standard books, you must have given to somebody, or you no longer need it now because you are already in 9th standard. But what does he say? Our television screen must have had 1,000,000 books on it, and it's good for plenty more. So what is he saying? On the television, on the screen, when they watch, when they read, there have been plenty of books, maybe millions of books, and still they are plenty, and they are good. I wouldn't throw it away. You save it in your, many of you are doing the online lessons on the computer, so you save it, even in the mobile. Same with mine, said Margie. So Margie is Tommy's sister. And what is she saying? She's saying that same with mine. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. So Tommy, obviously, he being elder to her, he had seen many books. And how many years he was elder to her? He was 13. That is, when Margie is 11 and he is 13, meaning he is 2 years elder to Margie. Now, come back. She said, where did you find it? In my house. He pointed without looking because he was busy reading. In the attic. What's it about? School. Now, students, they are discussing that where did you find this book? And where were the books? He pointed. It was in the attic. And what were the books about? Or what is it about? It's all about school. Now, in the 3rd paragraph, we see Margie was scornful. School? What's there to write about school? I hate school. Now, Margie hated school. Students, some of you also hate the schools, no? You do not like to get up early in the morning. Whereas online lessons, you can put any time and you can watch. So, Margie hated school. We do not know what is the reason, for what reason she hated. But Margie had dislike for the school. Now, Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. She always used to hate the school, and now she hated it more than before. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent it for the county inspector. Now, student, why? You must have got the idea. Why did she hate the school? Because her geography teacher used to give her, her mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography. So, students, she had to always prepare herself for the test. And was she doing good in that? No. See, she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. Now, students, I want you to underline the word scornful. In the 3rd paragraph, the word scornful. Now, what is the meaning of scornful? Look here. You are given the meaning. Contemptuous, showing you think something is worthless. One is that contemptuous, or showing you think something is worthless. In short, I will tell you, the meaning of scornful is also disrespectful. What is that? Disrespectful. D-I-S-R-E-S-P-E-C-T-F-U-L. Disrespectful. So students, Now, I want you again to come back to the page 1. Here. Now look at this. I have a question for you. Students, which date you see has been written in the book by Margie, in her diary by Margie? 17th May 2157. Okay. And what does she write in her diary? What does she write, student? I told you to underline this word before. Today, Tommy found a real book. It was something different for them. So she is writing in her diary. She used to make her diary, daily journals every day. It shows that she had been writing in her diary. And see, what type of book was that? It was a very old book. And student, who tells about the real book to Margie and Tommy? Margie's grandfather tells about the book. Now, students, I gave you the words, the meanings. I want you to ask you the question. Find out the word which means wrinkle in the paragraph. In the first paragraph, the meaning of the wrinkle. Students, we already have it over here. Meaning crinkly. Meaning crinkly. That is a wrinkle. You are asking the exam sometimes the questions. Okay? Either you are asked to find the adjective or write the noun form or the verb form of the word or what could be the adverb form. Also they sometimes ask you, write the synonyms for the word crinkly. So crinkly is asked, then you will write wrinkle. If you are asked wrinkle, you may write crinkly. But also you have another word with many folds or lines. This also answer is correct. Now, students, how are the pages of the book? How are the pages of the book, students? Yellow and crinkly. I have told you to underline that also. Were they enjoying reading the book? No, they were not enjoying reading the book. How old are Tommy and Margie? How old are Tommy and Margie, students? Margie is 11 and Tommy is 13 years old. Have Margie ever seen a book before? No, students. Margie has not seen the book before. Now, I want to tell you something, students. You saw that her mechanical teacher, which subject did he take? Geography. And he was giving the test after test. Was Margie doing well in her subject? No, she was doing worse and worse, and so her mother was not happy with her. Student, we will stop over here and I will just show you the board. Just have a look at the board. The name of the lesson has been given there. The fun they had. You also have the meanings written there. Crinkly, wrinkle, attic, loft, patted, tapped, headed, which means title, scornful, which means disrespectful, awfully, meaning badly, slot, which means space. This word we are going to do it in the next lesson. I also have written the name of the author. Who is the author of the fun they had? Isaac Asimov. And students, I have the questions for you. Question 1. Who is the author of the story? You already have the answer there. What was entered in the diary On 17th May 2157, find the word which means wrinkled. How were the pages of the book found by Tommy? How old are Tommy and Margie? Have Margie ever seen a book before? Students, I want you to write these questions, meanings in your notebook. Write today's date. I also will be teaching you in the next lesson what we have to do. But for today, this is what your homework. We shall meet you in the next lesson, next lecture. Have a good day, students.